Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to make this super simple beginner-friendly Granny Square tote bag. So let's get started by talking about materials. For this project, you're going to need to use any weight 4 yarn. You can use as many colors as you want, but for this project, I decided to use 2 colors, but this bag can be made with unlimited amount of colors that you desire. You're going to need a 5mm crochet hook, a tapestry needle, some stitch markers, and I didn't show it here, but you're also going to need a pair of scissors. We're going to first begin by making a magic circle. So wrap it around your fingers, forming an X, and then you're going to weave the hook back and forth through the X. Then you're going to chain 1, and now you have your magic circle. Then you're going to chain 1 once more, and then you have 2 chains. Now we're going to place 3 double crochet into the magic circle. Then you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to place 3 double crochet into the magic circle again. Then you're going to chain 1. Then you're going to place 3 double crochet into the next magic circle, chain 1. Now you should have 3 sets of Granny Square stitches. Then for the last time, you're going to place 3 double crochet into the magic circle. You're going to tighten the magic circle. You're going to yarn over and insert your hook into the first double crochet. Now this is where you can start to choose whether or not you want to continue or change your colors. For me, I wanted to change my color. So I'm going to grab my white yarn, then I'm going to finish off what I call a modified slip stitch. So you're going to pull through all 3 loops. Then you're going to chain 2 and then turn. Before we continue, what you want to do is tighten all your loose ends. So in the place where you did your modified slip stitch, there should be a hole there. You're going to place 3 double crochet in that hole. Then where you chained 1 last row, you're going to place 3 double crochet in that hole. You're going to chain 1 and then place 3 double crochet in that same hole. That hole is called a chain 1 space. In the next chain 1 space, you're going to repeat that pattern. You're going to place 3 double crochet in that hole, then you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to place 3 double crochet in that same hole. You're going to repeat that for the last chain 1 space too. Once you reach the beginning, you're going to place 3 double crochet in the first hole. Then you're going to repeat that modified slip stitch by yarning over, inserting your hook, and now you're going to change your colors. For me personally, I don't like to cut in between my color changes because it increases the amount that I have to weave in later. So what I do is I carry the yarn and I hold it to the wrong side of the piece so that at least it's a little cleaner, but like I still don't have to weave in all the ends. Then you're going to chain 2 and turn. And then you're going to repeat the pattern. You're going to place 3 double crochet into that first hole. And this row's a little different, but it's going to be the same for the next rows onward. Now you have a little gap in between your chain 1 spaces. In that gap, you're just going to place 3 double crochet. That's all you have to do, 3 double crochet. And then like normal, in the chain 1 space, you're going to place 3 double crochet, chain 1, and 3 double crochet. And in the next gap, you're just going to place 3 double crochet, and then in chain 1 space, 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. Now once you're back to the beginning, you're just going to place 3 double crochet and do a modified slip stitch back into the first double crochet. Now attaching a new color and starting a new row, you're going to chain 2 and then place 3 double crochet into that first hole like before. This is the pattern that you're going to follow over and over again until you get the dimensions of the square that you want. A green stitch marker represents all the corner stitches with the chain 1 spaces. There you're going to place 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. Then the purple stitch marker represents every time that you're going to place only 3 double crochet into that hole. Remember that it's the diagonal of the square that determines the dimensions of the bag. So let's say that the diagonal is 13 inches, your bag will be 13 by 13 inches. I'm going to continue until I get the dimensions that I want. Then I'll meet you guys back so that we can work on the next part. After doing your last round, you're going to do a modified slip stitch. If you're curious, I did 11 rounds. Then you're going to chain 1, pull up a loop, and then you're going to cut. To complete this bag, you're going to have to do this 2 more times, so in all you want to make 3 granny squares. For the other 2 squares, I made sure to leave really long tails so I could use them to seam up the bag later on. Once you've made all 3 granny squares, you're going to have to weave in all your ends. Now this is where carrying your working yarn comes in handy. Now you have less tails to weave in. Now we'll be placing each granny square into the formation seen on the screen. Make sure that each granny square is good side up. If it makes it easier for you, you can pin together every point of the granny square. Now in the back loop of each granny square, you're actually going to single crochet in every single stitch, all the way down until you reach the end. Make sure that on both sides that you're joining away from the stitch markers if you place stitch markers there, because I made that mistake the first time and it's not going to allow you to continue single crocheting on the other side. Continue to join all your granny squares together. Here's where I made the mistake. The finished tail should not be towards the center of the pattern, but it should be on the outside edges. So make sure that before you join, you know which direction your joins will be facing. You're going to flip over your project so now wrong sides are facing up, and then you're going to fold each corner into the center. And now you're going to continue single crocheting in the back loops of both sides as before. Now once you're done single crocheting on both sides, you're going to grab the other tail and you're just going to slip stitch them together. Make sure to pull tight, and then you're going to chain 1 and then pull up a loop. Now moving on to the strap. The strap width depends on how wide you would like it. So for me, I decided to do 6 stitches wide. Once you've picked your width, you're going to mark them each with a stitch marker. Reattach your yarn into that first stitch. You're going to pull up a loop and then you're going to chain 2. In that same stitch, you're going to place 1 half double crochet. And then you're going to half double crochet across the row. Then you're going to chain 2 in turn. If you did the same amount of stitches as I did, you should have 6 half double crochets. Then you're going to continue by placing 1 half double crochet into every stitch. This is how you're going to make the strap. You're going to continue until you reach the length of a strap that you want. Once you've reached your desired length for your strap, you're going to chain 1, pull up a loop, and leave a tail long enough to sew it on the opposite side of the bag. Turning to the opposite side of the bag, you're going to mark the 6 stitches that you originally did on the opposite side. This will help guide you so you know where to actually sew your strap onto. You're going to thread the needle onto your yarn. Then you're going to whip stitch the body of the bag to the strap. Now you should weave in all of your ends. In these clips I only showed myself weaving in the ends on the straps. Later on you'll see me actually weave in all of the ends that I should have just done at the beginning. Now we're going to be making the border around the bag. So what you're going to do is you're going to insert your hook into any stitch on the bag. You're going to pull through, chain 1, and in that same stitch you're going to single crochet. So you're just going to single crochet all the way around, even across the straps. Once you reach the straps, just try to put like 1 single crochet in each row and make it as even as possible. Continue on the other side. Once you're back at the beginning, instead of slip stitching like normal, you're going to cut a tail and then you're just going to pull through. Now you're going to weave your darning needle inward from the second single crochet that you made, and then back through the first stitch again, and that's how you're going to get a clean finish. Now repeat on the other side. Now lastly, what you have to do is weave in your ends and cut. And with that, your Granny Square tote bag is complete. I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get a reminder every single time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. See you all next time.